Welcome back. I'm Katie Upton. Hello, bonjour, hola, hey. To everyone around the world, once again, I'm Katie Upton, and I'm here today to talk about 10 writer's myths. 10. Check it out. Again, thank you so much for coming back and viewing this video. If you haven't already, please, please, please click on the subscribe button below. And whenever I post a video, you'll get notified. So don't want to miss out. Don't miss out, because I'll do giveaways and things like that. So you want giveaways, right? Of course. Yeah. Freebies? Yeah, please sign me up. So make sure you subscribe below. And again, I love hearing from people all around the world, fans, fellow readers, that sort of thing. So make sure you comment below too. So today, without further ado, let's move on to 10 writer's myths. That's hard for me to say. It's like a tongue twister. But anyway, here goes. Okay. Number 1, the muse, right? Or we have to be in a mood to write. There are authors out there that pieces of music will strike or make things happen, okay? Or a person that they see, or on the street even, that they don't even have to know, or a family member or somebody that they admire, they will write a book on a character kind of loosely based around those people. So in the past, some artists, they say, okay, when the muse hits me, muse strikes. That is true. I think, though, for most writers, we just sit our butts down in the chair and we start typing. We start putting pen to paper or pencil to paper, or a lot of us record as we're walking to get our exercise, because exercise is important, y'all, especially if you're at a desk job or whatever, even if you're on your feet all day. I mean, just standing there is not healthy. So again, my other job is in healthcare. So just saying, make sure you are at least walking. Okay. So, but for the most part, we put our backsides into a chair and we write, and that's the way we do it. Because if I waited for something to strike me, a mood to strike me, I think I would be waiting a really, really long time, and I'd be really old and gray. So that is a myth. Most authors don't do that. There are some, I'm sure, that do. It's just that the vast majority of writers, we don't wait for the moment to strike us. We will sit down at particular times and write. So myth number 2 is writers are eccentric or weird or slightly off. That's a really harsh statement, I think, and everybody's different. Everybody's unique. So weird being, they dress differently or things like that. And, or that they're less reliable, right? Writers are less reliable or for some reason. I don't know. That's not true, because writers are very dedicated, and we sit down and we write every day. And some of us 5 days a week, some of us 7 days a week, 24/7, 365 days of the year. That's what we do. So we are very much reliable on what we do. So, and to myth number 3. Myth number 3, all writers are alcoholic. Wrong. That's not true, clearly. I mean, that's a broad statement, and it's just not true. We, like any other profession, have people that succumb to drugs of abuse, illicit drug use, and alcohol being one of them. So, to be addicted to and to have issues with. So we're no different than anybody else. So, nope, not true. We're not all alcoholics. Okay, moving right along. Myth number 4. Myth number 4, writers are independently wealthy. What? I am? Seriously? Last time I checked my bank account, my checking account, that's far from the case. That's not true. I wish. I mean, I really do. And the vast majority of authors that I know, no. No, we're struggling to pay the bills just like everybody else. And books are interesting because you can sit down and read one sometimes in a day, in a few hours, and other times in 1 or 2 days. And people love them. And, you know, it's hard to value that because people always think that we should give things away for free. And a lot of us do. And yet we can't give everything away for free because then we can't eat and electricity and phone. And so, you know, we're not. The vast majority of us are not independently wealthy, and we have to work really hard just to keep the lights on. And one of my books is like $4.99, and out of that I get maybe 65% of the profits of that, and you know, the other platforms take their cut from that. So it's hard because you're talking a very small amount, and unless you're having huge amount of success and selling thousands and thousands of copies, which the average writer is, I know that a lot of people have told this and report this, and it's true. It's pretty rare for anybody to sell over 100 copies of a book. So we're not wealthy, and we normally have day jobs, in other words. Okay, so myth number 5, we are hermits. Wrong. We're not hermits. We do, a lot of us tend to be introverted, and I fall in that category. I've taken the Myers-Briggs years ago, and I've taken it over the years, and I'm still the same Myers-Briggs type. There's 16 types to Myers-Briggs personality. So if you want to know what my Myers-Briggs type is, comment below, and I'll do a whole other video on that because it's really exciting. That stuff, I based a book, one of my series. So the Protectorate series, the supernatural suspense mystery series, takes into account personality types to the different houses and stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, buy the book and you'll find out. So anyway, comment below if you want more information about my personality type, or the Myers-Briggs, and we can break that down too, because it's always fun to do and to figure out who you are. Comment section. But we're not hermits. We really do like to socialize. We tend to be introverted, meaning that we would prefer smaller groups and less stimulation. We can, and we enjoy it. We love to go out from time to time and to restaurants and socialize, cocktail parties. I haven't been to a cocktail party, just saying. But, you know, we do like to go out and socialize. But the vast majority of us like to have our quiet time, and we like to sit down and cozy up to a book and just read for hours on time, and just have some alone, quiet, peaceful time to ourselves, and just kind of delve into those worlds, right, that we're reading. So we're not hermits. We do enjoy social interaction, because who else am I gonna like base a character off of if not you, right? So we're very observant people, and we can incorporate some of the characteristics that we see from passersby and from people we may know and love, and we incorporate those into our books. So we're definitely not hermits. That's an extreme myth. So on to number 6. Writers write every day. Okay, so I believe it was Stephen King that wrote something on that he writes every day. And there are some people that do. And I believe Hemingway wrote 6 days a week, and then he had Sundays off where he would just read all day. So, I mean, there is that component to it. And sometimes people write every day, but it's not like they're writing 4,000 or 5,000 words. Some people do. A lot of people take a day off. you know, because we need to refuel and recharge, especially if you have a day job, which most writers, I would say, you know, if I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I think most writers out there have a really hard time writing for a living, just on their fiction alone, and or even just their nonfiction, right? So we have day jobs, so we do take some time off, and we're not necessarily writing every day. Me personally, I write 5 days a week. And then on the sixth day, I do, you know, videos or book trailers. I have to do marketing, you know, business stuff, boring business stuff, right? But every day I'm doing some business stuff and things like that too. But it's, you know, I write 5 days a week. I'm aiming now for about 4,000 words a day. Wrists hold out, please, because they're sore. But it's a myth that writers write every day. We do have to do other things, and I think it would be fantastic to write something every day. But even I need to kind of refuel my, you know, my creative minds, and I'll have a day to read and watch some fantastic mysteries on TV. So moving right along, number 7, right? 7. Grammar police. We are grammar police. No. No, that's not true. At least for me. And I know a lot of other writers, it's not true either. So we are taught when we write that the better we are at grammar, right? The less our editors have to edit, and sometimes it's cheaper for us because editing is an expense. It's quite a big expense. They are invaluable. So for us as writers, I don't know, I couldn't be anywhere without my editor. I love her to death. So, and she's fantastic. She's phenomenal. Having said that, that's her job, is to look at the grammar. And, you know, for me, we are just writing and trying to look at character arcs, and is the character fleshed out? You know, is it a 3D character, or even a 4D character that can kind of leap up off the page at the reader? Is the pacing good enough? Are there plot holes, you know? And so we're less concerned with being grammar police, you know? Like, no, that's what editors are for. And thank goodness we have them, right? So, no grammar police here for the vast majority of authors. I mean, sure, we might notice something on a billboard or something, but I think most people would notice that. It's like an obvious thing, and you go, okay. But for the most part, we're not. We're not. So, number 8. Myth number 8. So we have, it's a hobby. Writing is a hobby. Wrong. No, writing is not a hobby. For the vast majority of people, it's not a hobby. We do try to make a living at this, and we love this. We love it so much that we want to make a living at this. It's incredibly difficult to make a living, a full-time living off of writing. It just is. And I've talked to a number of different authors, and we all struggle to get seen, to get our books out there, because there's some phenomenal writers that people will just never know of, and they fall by the wayside because it's like, it's expensive. It's very, very expensive. It's not a hobby. It's definitely not a hobby. We have a passion for it. We want to get kids reading and adults reading. We want to take you on a journey and take you on a mystery, right? A whodunit, throwing in all these red herrings and, you know, possibilities, and get you thinking and, you know, guessing until the very last minute, right? And we spend hours and hours and days and months and years of our lives trying to perfect that. And that's not a hobby. It's not a hobby. So, nope. Moving right along. And number 9, the 9th writer's myth, right, is anyone can be a writer. That's a yes and a no. So it's both. Anybody can write something, right? I mean, anybody can put pen to paper or type something on a keyboard. However, not everybody wants to write, or has the wherewithal to really, you know, plot everything out well. Okay. And that's just something that I think a lot of people say, well, everybody has one good book in them. And that may be true. It doesn't mean, though, that you don't, that everybody will write one. Everybody thinks it's easy to write. And I had this this person that I know that said, "Oh, hey, I can, I have this great idea for a book. I'm writing. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do this." Great, that's great. So we sat down side by side. This was years ago. Sat down side by side, and I'm starting to type away. I go just typing, and about 5 minutes later, it occurs to me. The person sitting on my right is just staring at the cursor, like just blinking. And I stopped to ask, is everything okay? Are you feeling okay? And their response, this is hard. Yeah, it is. And so everybody can write. It's just not everybody does it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot, and some people just get really frustrated, and so that's myth number 9. Now, finally, myth number 10. Myth number 10, writers are depressed. No. Again, like with the drinking, the alcoholism, illicit drug use, that sort of thing, just like, in any kind of profession, you can pick a handful of people out and you will find somebody that has depressive or mental health issues. And it's not just because they're writers. Now, do writers have an increased maybe chance of it because our minds are so overactive and imaginative? Because we writers, especially if you're writing in crime or crime fiction or noir, you have to go to some pretty deep, dark places, and that can really bring you down a rabbit hole. That's true. However, we're not all depressed. That's just not the case. And again, this is a great opportunity to say, if anybody out there is struggling with mental health, please, please, please reach out. There are numbers throughout the United States that I know of, and to reach out, tell a trusted friend or coworker, if you feel comfortable doing that. Just reach out to a healthcare professional if you can, for that. So, but that's with any population. You will have depression, and it's not just specifically to writers. So, there you have it, the 10 myths of writers. Now, if you like this, okay, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know more or have other topics that you would like for me to create a video for, let me know that too in the comment section. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button below so that you get updates on future videos. Again, thank you so much for sticking with me. This has been a long video, I know, but it's just fun. And that's my personality. So, in my closet again. So, onwards and upwards, read on, write on, and I will see you later. Peace. Hello. Goodbye.